It's going to be a fun week here, if you can't tell already. We do have a ton of guests planned, but today, you're stuck with us four. We're going to go through free agency for the quarterbacks, for the running backs, and, of course, we'll end with last call, looking at some betting markets, as we always do. So let's get right into it, fellas. Let's get into the Roto-World player news, because it's been the final wave of coaching hires. Head coaching hires, key coordinator hires as well. The Cardinals have finally found their next head coach. It will be Mike LaFleur, formerly the offensive coordinator with the New York Jets, most recently the offensive coordinator under Sean McVay with the Rams. This is the sixth straight Arizona head coaching hire with no previous permanent NFL head coaching experience. So a familiar road that Arizona goes down again, Matthew.
It is, but look, what's been the biggest issue for Arizona over the last number of years? Quarterback, right? They haven't been able to figure out quarterback. And so the big question is with Mike LaFleur, is he there to fix Kyler Murray? Is he there to, use Jacoby Brissett as a bridge to the next round? Or is he there to draft somebody and develop somebody? This is somebody, obviously you're familiar with him from his time with the Jets there, but you think about he's from the McVay tree. He's from the Kyle Shanahan tree. This is a guy that was also part of he was the San Francisco 49ers passing game coordinator for a number of years. Obviously the brother to Matt LaFleur. He is part of that. He is close with Kyle and McVay and obviously his brother. So he's from that tree. So you would expect a good offense. And for all of the challenges that the Cardinals have as a franchise, offensively, they've been able to move the ball. They have some pieces there. This is a better job than I think. Again, we can talk about ownership and their support there, but it feels like in terms of a lot of times when you're taking a job, there's not a lot of talent around. There's the exceptions, the Bills of the world, but for the most part, but the Cardinals, for a team that didn't do that well this year, there's some pieces on defense and there's some pieces on offense. They just need to figure out the quarterback, and I assume that's what Coach LaFleur is there to do.
Yep. Firstly, I notice everyone else is wearing beige. I don't know what's going on with this. You guys look all exactly the same.
I actually noticed that. I just was never going to say something, but I could always count
the regulars
on Jay
are all
Crouch.
over it.
Very troubling. Secondly, Lawrence, it feels like
I wear what's put in my closet. I have no thought process.
That's a good out for you. You don't dress yourself.
I don't dress myself.
Matthew hasn't dressed.
Not at home, not on the air. My wife has to lay it out for me. Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for other people in my life, I would be walking around in sweats and boxers.
Yeah. There was a brief period, ages 13 to 36, where you did dress yourself, but the surrounding years on both sides, you did not dress yourself. Lawrence, it feels like the Cardinals, their quarterback situation is maybe the least clarified in the whole league. Because we're still Jacoby Brissett. We're going to do this again.
Yeah, remember Jacoby Brissett completed 47 passes in a game. That's the NFL record, and I think even down the line, from a fantasy perspective, we're going to have to know what their plan is at the quarterback position. If you're sticking with Kyler Murray, the picture is clear. But if you come in and you, as a new coach, and want a new quarterback, that's going to be big. Is it a young guy? Is it a bridge? Like you said, Matthew, Jacoby Brissett, that's going to shape the fantasy landscape for the team, because we know Trey McBride, he's quarterback proof, right? It's those other positions that we're going to have to worry about going forward.
I like Mike LaFleur's aesthetic, by the way. Kind of strong draw. He looks like Casey Affleck in Manchester by the Sea meets Sith Lord. He's just kind of some darkness going on there, but it's good.
The other big question is, I would love to be in on those meetings, because it's hey man, does Coach LaFleur, is he we're moving on from Kyler, right? Or, hey, I can fix Kyler. And the other part is, what do we do with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Michael Wilson, right? So, is Michael Wilson just a product of great, negative game script and a quarterback that was focused on just getting him the ball because MHJ was out? Or is this hey, this is a kid that was a third-round pick? Again, Connor, you and I have talked about this. As somebody who's interviewed Michael Wilson, he's a great kid. He is just an awesome, awesome human being, very bright, and so I would think very coachable. And so you saw wow, maybe this is kind of a third-year breakout that we talked about.
I think it's closer to that, Matthew, because Jacoby Brissett, he played a lot of this season, and Marvin Harrison played in some of those games too, and he didn't quite have the blow-up games that Michael Wilson had, 185 yards in the game. It wasn't a mistake, and if you thought it was, he came back and put up 150, so I think that the talent is really there.
Could you guys see a scenario where, if they believe in Michael Wilson, and they obviously, what they have in McBride, could you see them try to trade Marvin Harrison Jr. This is a team that has a lot of needs, and could they get some picks for MHJ?
I wouldn't be shocked by that kind of move. Is it a situation where, hey, we still believe in this guy's talent, but we're going to invest in the roster elsewhere, right, of Arizona, because they do? And you're going to have to make a decision on Michael Wilson soon. He's entering a contract year. So, because he wasn't a first-round pick, so you don't have the fifth-year option on him.
Correct.
So you're going to have to decide, do we want to pay this guy? Because somebody else will. That's what it comes down to. So I think from a fantasy angle, this is good news because LaFleur, who didn't call plays with the Rams but did a lot of good things there, he did call plays with the Jets. And when he called plays for any non-Zach Wilson quarterback, the Jets offense moved the ball really, really well. He was creative. So if you're looking for an optimistic hire from a fantasy angle, I think this was as good as Arizona could have done.
I completely agree with you, and I also think it's going to be one of the teams that's going to be under the radar a little bit, but fascinating to watch in the offseason because we talked about the quarterback, we talked about Marvin Harrison Jr., and also the running back, James Conner, who has always been so effective, but bad injury, a little bit older. What do they do with Trey Benson, another injury? So what do they do with the running back position? They've always been able to run the ball, at least, over the last handful of years. And obviously coming from a Shanahan-McVay system, running the ball is so important to set up the passing game. So Cardinals are a fascinating team, but I agree with you, Connor, that from a fantasy football perspective, I think we're happy with the hire.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.